It is the year of 1912 in the Balkans. Tensions were at a high level in the last years of the Ottoman Empire and their deep rule of continental Europe. On October 1912, a new war was sparked. The identity of the Balkans would be dominated by its geographical position. From the beginning of civilizations, it was a crossroad of culture and civilization. This area would become in contact with a new religion and new culture under the rule of the Ottomans. And by the year 1456, the Ottomans were a large power having control of much of the Balkans. But after 400 years of rule in the area, the Ottoman power weakened substantially and their power fell behind. The Ottomans suffered military defeats in the 19th century. Also, rebellions started to happen, especially due to the rise of nationalism. Greeks declared their independence in 1821 and it was recognized in 1830. Also, Bulgaria, Serbia, Romania, and Montenegro followed by gaining their independence. Tensions began to rise over their rivalry aspirations over the remaining Ottoman-controlled Balkan provinces. In 1908, Bulgaria began to dream of unifying all of its territories, so they began building an army, but they couldn't fight the Ottomans alone. On March 13, 1912, Serbia and Bulgaria signed a treaty that assigned northern Macedonia to Serbia and southern Macedonia to Bulgaria. Greece also signed a similar treaty with Bulgaria. Montenegro joined the League, making use of the military action against their common enemy. The Treaty of the Balkan League was held in Serbia to discuss how to partition the lands, but Bulgaria refused to commit to any agreement on how the land should be distributed. Bulgaria believed it could occupy a larger part of Macedonia and reach Saloniki. The war had started. The Balkan League against the once mighty Ottoman Empire at its core. This was a war about liberation, territory, and ambition. The Balkan League aimed to drive the Ottomans out of Europe, and the Ottomans, well, they were determined to hold onto their crumbling empire. One of the earliest and most decisive battles was the Battle of Kirkeles, fought in late October 1912. Bulgaria's army, about 297,000 soldiers, went up against 96,000 Ottoman troops. The Bulgarian forces, using superior artillery and bold tactics, overwhelmed the Ottomans, forcing them to retreat. This victory opened the way for the Bulgarians to march towards Adrianople. The siege of Adrianople, or Adrian as it's now known, was one of the war's most grueling confrontations. Bulgarian and Serbian forces laid siege to the city, which was defended by approximately 50,000 Ottoman soldiers. After months of relentless bombardment and assaults, the city fell in March 1913. This marked a significant blow to Ottoman morale and control over the region. Meanwhile, in the west, Montenegro had already declared war earlier than the rest of the League. Their forces, although smaller, at around 35,000 troops, aimed to capture Ottoman-held areas in northern Albania. Serbia, with an army of 230,000, secured decisive victories at the Battle of Komanovo, rooting the Ottoman forces out and establishing control over much of Macedonia. These battles cemented Serbia's position as a dominant force in the region. On the seas, Greece played a critical role with a smaller but modernized navy. The Greeks achieved the dominance over the Aegean Sea. The naval battle of Ely in December 1912 was a resounding Greek victory, effectively cutting off Ottoman reinforcements and supplies to their European territories. By early 1913, the Ottoman Empire was on the brink of collapse in Europe. Their forces, though still numbering around 250,000, were scattered, exhausted, and poorly supplied. The Balkan League's combined armies of 600,000 had the momentum. After months of bloodshed, this war came to an official end with the signing of Treaty of London on May 30, 1913. The treaty significantly redrew the map of the Balkans. The Ottomans were left with a sliver of European territory around Constantinople, while the Balkan states expanded their borders, but peace, as we know, is fragile. The divisions of the spoils would soon spark new rivalries, leading to the Second Balkan War and ultimately World War I.